Junior? It's you, Junior. Junior, you did it. And who's gonna come to save you, Junior?
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Junia's Book Club. Every Wednesday, we talk about our books, and tonight, since I'm totally good at this, we are talking Dungeon Crawler Carl, chapters 6 through 10, because that's the way we like to do things. I am Junior, your host. I am visited by Tatted She-Wolf, who will be joining us audibly in just a moment, and we are so good to have you guys here. Thank you for being part of this. Thank you for being part of the Junior's Book Club. It really does mean a lot. And welcome in, my good friend Tatted She-Wolf. How's it going? That good, huh?
I think I'm excellent. I'm not sure.
Not sure yet. Hey, that's all right. That's all right. So I wanted to start things off this week. First of all, welcome to floor 1, right? So we are finally on floor 1 of the dungeon. And I think it's important to kind of go back to a little bit about what we talked about last week, about the fact that that B is a cheating bitch. That Donna is kind of a pain in the ass, and that it just doesn't seem fair that the earth has been mined for resources, which is absolutely wild. Absolutely. And it's been a punishing start. During what we're going to talk about tonight, we start seeing like how many people are being lost and like the effects of that, and we get to find out what happens to our wonderful donut after she is no longer a puddle of goo, which is going to be really exciting. Now, while you were reading the chapters 6 through 10, did anything really stick out to you in these chapters?
Other than the announcer, he's like my favorite. I don't know why.
Oh, the
Like,
AI. I love the AI.
right? And I mean, and I know I said this last week, but I mean, anybody who started reading these, I would at least encourage them to listen to like on Audible or whatever. The first
Oh yeah.
what is that? They do like a sample thing of, like show you part of the first chapter or something. It just
Yeah, they
gives
do
you,
that.
yeah, it just gives you an
Also,
idea.
believe it or not, I have a link for you guys, 30-day free trial of Audible.
That's what reeled me in. I'd never listened to an audiobook before in
I've
my
never
life.
been big into audiobooks, and then like I started getting into Dungeon Crawler Carl. My wife's like, I've heard good things. You got to check out this book. And I've always had trouble paying attention to audiobooks. I'm not sure about you guys who are watching out there and how you feel about it, but it's always been a little bit difficult for me where I'm just like, it doesn't really get me into the book quite as much as I feel like I do when I'm reading it myself. And this changed my whole fucking mind.
Dang, absolutely.
Yeah, just changed everything. So when we come to when we come into chapter 6, it starts off just wonderfully, which is actually one of the last chapters, I think, that doesn't start off with how much time is left until level collapse. I think it looks like 7, it doesn't. But as we waited for my mutant cat to emerge from her blob,
Right.
like, what a way to start a chapter, right?
And I'll be honest, a lot of the books that I've read in the past have been things like, Stephen King and stuff like that. And
Mm-hmm.
then, being a girl, I kind of got into the whole fantasy romance novel kind of thing, like Carpathian vampires and shit like that. So I was I was kind of in a book slump for a while, and then this whole Dungeon Crawler Carl, I had heard about it from so many people, and then my sister-in-law was the one that kind of like, you absolutely need to do the audiobook for that. She's like,
Oh
it
yeah.
is awesome. So, you
Thank
hear
you
from
to your sister-in-law.
yeah, you hear from people,
Right?
yeah. And I've gotten two other people to do the same thing, to actually go in and do the Audible book, and then like they're buying the books, and I'm just like, this stuff's been out for how long? Are you kidding me? I've been
Like
behind the
I
times.
I still can't believe that this came out in like 2019
Something like that. It
or
was a while ago.
2020. Like, how has this been off my radar? I feel like a terrible nerd
I know, right?
because like
I feel
I'm not
exactly the same
following
way,
it the way that I should. But
right?
you're right with the system. I love the way the system is just so snarky and wonderful.
Absolutely.
Like when you've got Carl examining his cudgel's property, and the system says in a caveman voice, "Toad cudgel, big stick for bonking, bonk toad, bonk mob, bonk
Absolutely.
girlfriend, and drag back to cave by hair." Like, that was just one of those moments that makes you love reading a book. And then the goblin pass and talking about the tattoo on your forearm,
Yeah,
and the fact that it's just like, it's a tattoo on your
right.
forearm. Now you'll never get a good job.
Yeah, there's so much about the game AI that is just it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah. And the fact that it it's never like just a repeat of what it did before. It's never,
No.
oh yeah, I remember him doing this before. No, it's every single time it's like, oh, that's a new one. And I absolutely love that. And I like the fact that when he got that Goblin Pass tattoo, that he still has his jacket on, and he said that it branded onto his jacket. So it starts off making you understand that, hey, this is going to stick with you. You're going to see it more often. And now he has free passage through goblin controlled territory, but takes 20% more damage from fairy class creatures, which comes up later. But
Yeah.
like, I love the fact that it's giving all of these different things that you're going to be dealing with.
Well,
I've
and then you get to experience all the different kind of dungeon madness that you've experienced in video games and whatnot. They just bring it to life in a book. I love it.
Yeah, and I was going to say who had the most unhinged moment, but I think we'll have to talk about that later when we get to, I don't remember exactly what chapter it is. I think it's 8 or 9. Where is it? Hold on, I'll find it. I'll find it. It's when he's squishing things. Oh, is that in 10? I don't know where it is. Hey, I got a raid. I've got to welcome them. So just give me a second. You're gonna have to hear a terrible song. Are you ready, chat? Aye, Juniaaa. I can't hear you. Aye, Juniaaa. Oh, Where do you go to? What city builders? Juniaaa Gaming. Drinking rum and laughing as he. Juniaaa Gaming. If book club nonsense is something you wish, Juniaaa Gaming, then hit that follow and say hi in chat. Juniaaa Gaming. Juniaaa Gaming. Juniaaa Gaming. Juniaaa Gaming. Juniaaa Gaming. Hey, Detected Hair. What is going on? Raise the pitchfork. Raise it up high. Welcome, Raiders. Happy to have you guys here. It was fun watching you earlier, Rockguy, playing a little WoW. Love to see it. Afaya, we salute you. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. So, yeah, we'll be talking a little bit later about who had the most unhinged moment, because we're going to be talking about the system during that time. But what were your first impressions of the layout and vibe of floor 1? Now that, like, you got through the initial shock of getting onto floor 1, you got into that fight with the goblins, right? And now we talk to Mordecai and things start happening, and then we come out and we see floor 1. Like, throughout these chapters, it feels like a classic dungeon.
I feel like I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. I'm waiting for them to just smash the whole floor with everybody remaining in it. And I'm just like it's a joke. It's a hoax. It's not real. And they're just gonna squish everybody in there. And it never comes, at least up till 10. So I'm just kind of like, okay, maybe I'm just having this anxiety for no reason.
I don't think we're allowed to talk about Borant like that. They would never do such a thing.
I never said their name out loud. You did. You did it. That was all you, dude.
Yeah, but I think that this floor feels lazy. And I think that was done intentionally.
Well, I think they're still setting up for the rest of it. I said, I've got this anxiety that the other shoe's gonna drop anytime soon, and that this poor guy is doing all this for no reason, like for just everybody's entertainment, and then suddenly they're just gonna yank the rug out from underneath them.
I know and during these chapters they talk about B so much.
Yeah, I keep expecting her to show up or something.
I keep feeling like she's gonna have to be part of this at some point.
Right.
Like, they kept her in one piece or something, right?
Like, somehow she made it.
Oh yeah. She's brought up way too much to not be. Although maybe they're thinking that we're gonna think that. And they're like, yeah,
there has to
whatever.
be a reason, right?
Yeah. They're like, oh, we're just not going to do anything with it because these people are hilarious, thinking that this is like a big plan. But
I think they're still doing some setup in this.
Oh, they're definitely doing some setup in this.
So you'll have to forgive me. I just started book 3 in an audiobook, so I have to go back reread a couple of things.
I'm on book 3 as well, so I'm being really careful not to give away anything.
I know, right? It's kind of difficult. It's tough.
The hardest thing. Yeah, but really, this dungeon feels like they didn't want to spend any money on it. They were just like, hey, we'll go ahead and just throw a dungeon together because most of them are going to die anyways, which really tracks with how they do things anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So now, something I want to know from you and anybody in chat who's been reading this, do you find floor 1 to be fair, unfair, or extra sadistic so far?
I mean, for me, I don't know. It feels like a dungeon. I mean, I played a little bit of D&D way back in the day. Show my age there a little bit, but
hey, I play D&D too.
I know, but I haven't played it in forever. But it feels like a game. So it's just kind of like I'm loving how you've got the loot boxes and then the
Mm-hmm.
stat points and then you've got Mordecai and all that other stuff. I'm just kind of like the big twist here though I like is that they turned Donut into an active player, not just a
Yes. So let's
pet.
get to that. Donut makes her grand entrance, which was done so freaking well that Carl was talking about his Frogger machine back in the day. And by the way, nothing screams 80s parent quite the same as, oh yeah, my kid's fine. He's just hanging out playing his Frogger game in the basement while dad's upstairs smoking and playing poker and drinking heavily. It
I,
just
I I did a little bit of Frogger myself, so but we didn't really have a whole lot of way in the video games, so it was mostly tabletop for me
yeah.
till I
And
was older, and then I became uber nerd. So
haha, gotta love the uber nerd phase. Welcome in, Rock Guy. Good to have you.
Good to be.
But yeah, now I'm at the point though where I've listened to this part of the book so many times while driving that if Frogger doesn't show up at some point in the dungeons, I'm gonna
there's
be
gonna be
so
disappointment.
disappointed.
Yep, absolutely.
Like there's got to be a Frogger machine somewhere. And then like he's thinking about it and he's thinking about this memory of, and I also back to like the way his mom treated him, like the fact that she would just lock him in the basement. It's not like, oh, she would get me down to the basement. No, she would lock me in the basement. Like I freaking loved it.
Like
And
that's my
then
dream right now.
yeah. And then all of a sudden you hear, really, Carl? And it's your first time hearing the one and only Princess Donut, the Queen Anne Chonk. And it's a little awkward the way that he describes the voice. Because he said it was a sultry yet pompous at the same time. So he's talking about his cat's voice being sultry. And that's awkward.
That's very awkward.
And he looks about wildly. Welcome in, Monkey Bro. Welcome in.
Hello.
Happy to have you here, my friend.
Yes, sir.
Hold on while I fix these boxes. I'm getting it to the point where I'm going to be all set, I think, the next time we stream this. I think I'm finally starting to learn how to do all this.
That's always a good thing.
Yeah, be nice to me. I'm new. I'm not used to having guests on my stream, but we're going to make it work. All right, there we go. Now we have all of you on here. Wonderful. So we were just talking about the introduction of the Queen Anne Chunk, Princess Donut.
Oh. Yeah.
And the fact that he mentioned that she sounded sultry. And I found that really awkward.
Yeah.
And the fact that at the end of her introductory speaking, you hear, I just can't fathom why Miss Beatrice hired you in the first place. Like, It is such a donut thing to say, and you guys will all catch on to this as we go through the books, but it's just so freaking perfect. And again, the way that he writes and ends the chapter with, instead, all I saw was the cat. Like, that was just perfect. Now, what I need to know from you guys is, who here finds it fair at the stats that she got started off with? Holy crap.
Totally unfair. Totally unfair. And I think that's where Carl lost his shit. He was like, "That's that. Are you kidding me?"
Yep. Isn't it where cats are said to be smarter than humans, even in real life?
Possibly. I don't know. I don't know much
I
about
feel like
cats.
I've heard that before. Yeah, I've heard that cats are very smart. So if they are that smart and that, then I don't see why those stats would be naked. Like why those stats would not be fair. You know.
Oh, definitely.
I feel that Carl started with lower stats than he should have in
I
terms
mean,
of other things because
Maybe that's it. Maybe
I
that's
don't
it. He
I
started
don't
waiting.
know if he did though. Like, Carl is the everyman. He's the most like average that they could find.
that's true too.
And that's like that new trope that you're starting to see in books in general, of the average
Yeah.
to hero. Now, something that I'm going to want to end up finding out by the end of all this is, what does GCBWRNW mean? Because that's the first part of Princess Donut's name.
I thought they mentioned that somewhere.
I
They did.
thought they did too.
Yeah, I feel like it's something related to her
Her
the
title.
competition shows.
It's
Yeah.
got to be
Yeah, it's
something to do
also
with her pedigree or something, or
it is. It is.
Yeah.
It is. I remember them. Yeah, I remember her breaking it down somewhere. I don't remember what it was, but I do remember that she broke it down for everybody there.
okay,
Yeah,
we're gonna solve this right now. So GC,
I know the GC stands for like Grand Champion. I think that
Grand
they
champion.
mentioned,
Yeah.
they
oh
mentioned
yeah,
that.
the grand champion, breed winner, regional, national winner.
I'll be right back.
All right. So yes, grand champion, breed winner, regional, national winner, Princess Donut, the Queen and Chunk. I freaking love it. I love everything about like how over the top it is.
Yep.
And then like, I like the way that they were going through the tutorial and they did all that. And then all of a sudden, like, she pops up as a party member. And then Mordecai is like, okay, let's show you how to click on your party menu and stuff now too. Like, it just worked out really well for him. But now,
Yeah.
something I'm wondering is, because what ends up happening to the viewers out there, the initial boost to 4 random stats, and then all additional levels automatically give 1 strength, 1 intelligence, and 2 charisma per level. So now she's always going to be stuck with that 2 constitution until she finds stuff, right? And the thing I'm wondering is, when you gain levels, do you gain hit points, or is it only when you gain constitution in this game? I don't think
I feel that they do get hit points. No.
I don't know. That's what
I
I'm
don't think
wondering.
I don't think they actually talk about specifically hit points. They just talk about stats other than hit points. Everything
Well,
else.
yeah, exactly. What from the reason I say that they do gain hit points is when Carl levels up and his attacks level up, then he figures out that some of the mobs are easier to kill. So if they're easier to kill, then doesn't that mean that he's doing more damage? Same with Donut.
Yeah,
but
but
that's
like
strength, dexterity, constitution, all that stuff is
they're raising that stuff as they go, and they're getting skills that raise the damage that they do as well, right? So like,
Yeah.
do they actually get more hit points?
they
I
never
bet.
really talk about hit points.
Yeah. They don't talk about hit points, but I do feel that they do gain more damage. That's something that I feel very strongly is
Well,
the case.
like they do more damage, but that's because their skills increase. Like when their unarmed strike increases, things like that, that increases the amount of damage. And when their strength goes up. Oh, I looked it up, and in Dungeon Crawler Carl, crawlers do not gain hit points automatically each time they level up. Instead, it's based on player stats.
Aha.
So you don't get increased HP unless you increase your constitution. And that makes this mean so much more.
I had it backwards.
That's all right. That's all right.
I was thinking hit points as in damage done to enemies, not damage that they can take themselves.
No, damage they can take.
Yeah, no, that is true. That they don't talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had it backwards.
Apparently, unless you up your stats, it won't happen. So that makes this like static constitution even more important.
Right. It's also with the I think I'm jumping a bit too far, but like the items that they're getting from the loot boxes, those play into that as well, right?
Yes, they do.
Yeah, so that would technically not increase the hit points, but they would reduce the amount of damage they would take.
Correct.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of loot boxes, they let Donut open up her loot boxes. Sorry, Princess Donut open up her loot boxes, and she finds the enchanted crown of the sepsis whore.
Oh,
Who's
right.
a dirty
That thing
girl?
that makes
You're a dirty girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like super powerful, which is awesome.
Yep.
But warning. Seriously though, I'm gonna say this again. Warning. Read this shit before you put it on. She now has to kill everybody in the Blood Sultanate on the 9th floor of the dungeon before she can go to floor 10.
Which is going to be interesting when we get there.
Yeah. Well, also, she can't take it off. Because if she does, it disappears and somebody else gets it, and then she's going to have to kill them as well.
You'll only want to wear this if you're a bloodthirsty, raging psychopath.
Raging psychopath. So if you're a cat.
Well, so
well, she is. Yeah, exactly.
She's a cat, so yeah.
That ends up being her thing. She doesn't read before she does. She's like, "Oh, it's pretty and sparkly. I must put it on."
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Basically like a cat following a laser.
Like a cat.
Yeah. And she does that later too.
With many other.
When she puts on the bell charm for her collar.
Yeah.
And I think to spark Carl's rage even more, she becomes the party leader. Who decided that?
Yeah.
Well, because she has the most power.
It's
just
based on the
wrong.
stats.
I think they're just setting him up for failure. That's why I said I feel like the other shoe is gonna drop. Poor Carl. He's just gonna lose no matter what.
Well, knowing that this is for a TV show,
Yep.
like it's that whole reality TV thing. And I think they know that Carl is just unhinged enough to just set him off on stuff for the entertainment value. But I mean, we also had to all appreciate the fact that she named it the Royal Court of Princess Donut. And now his name is the Royal Bodyguard Carl.
Mhm.
I absolutely love that.
Poor Carl.
Yeah, and I think in the next chapter, it really gives some really good clues about what the wider world of the World Dungeon is going to be like, right? So, in the next chapter, they had to fight the bad llama. And the bad llama is like a
Yes.
llama, but it's bad.
Yeah. Yep.
Covered in prison tattoos, and would be hanging out in front of the Circle K, hitting on 14-year-old girls. They might be willing to sell you something if you have good stuff to trade. You won't want to get hit by their spit. And new drinking game every time he says, "God damn it, donut." Which I believe this is the first time he says it. Maybe second time. I'm not
No,
sure.
that's the first.
In the dungeon. Because didn't he say it on the surface before, like at the very beginning?
I think so,
But cheers, everybody. God damn it, donut.
yeah.
Everyone's favorite catchphrase.
Yes. Oh, wait. It's not the catchphrase yet. Spoilers. Oops. It's okay. I'll let it go, Rockguy. But this llama shoots a red baseball-sized ball of spit that sizzled where it hit and turns the stones of the rocky floor crimson. So basically, it spits lava. And this is where Carl really shows off a little bit of his skill that Donut does not understand yet. Because she shoots that thing. The whole reason they're in this issue is that Donut shoots the thing with magic missiles before she even sees it. She's like, there's something down there, and she shoots. And again, that is just Donut. So impulsive. Like, there's something, shoot it. And then all of a sudden that thing starts coming, and you've got Carl balling his fists because Mordecai said that his punches were more powerful than either of the weapons. And he's like, you're going to have to shoot it again. And she goes, I can't. I'm out of mana. And Carl has to remind her, like, hey, there's a thing called mana potions. You should use it. And when they see it, it's got the debuff of septic, and that septic debuff that the llama has comes from that enchanted crown of the sepsis whore, which is absolutely wonderful. I think for me, this is the early monster that really stuck out to me the most. And it's not so much that it's a llama. It's not so much that it spits lava. It's that they kill the thing and they find in the loot on the llama, they find a baggie of trailer park grade meth. Or actually 2 bags of trailer park grade meth. And I think this is what really clues you in on what the wider world is going to be like in the dungeon.
Those are pharmaceuticals, sir.
No. Straight up meth. Like, that's methed up. But I think that this is really setting the tone for the entirety of the dungeon and what it's going to be like, you know? Because it's later on, you'll find out that like they really push the worst parts of Earth. And so they're just going off of all the worst stuff, including the meth addicts, right? So they kill this thing. Oh, they are pharmaceuticals. That's my bad. I just saw the part where they're like, my inventory added 2 new menus, food items and pharmaceuticals.
Pharmaceuticals.
And new achievements. And awesome that all this happened. They kill the thing, and the important thing to remember is how he killed it, because he saw its throat. Where is it? It reared back to spit, and its neck was glowing red, and he uppercut it, and then a left hook right in the face, felt the bones crunch, and then let's see, it grunted with surprise, unleashed its gob of spit just as its head turned away from me. I felt the heat of the lava ball sail over my shoulder, stepped in and punched it again directly in its glowing throat. And this is such a video game mechanic. Like, I caught that the second it happened. I was like, oh, this is such a video game.
Yeah, definitely the glowing weak spot.
Oh, yeah. Like, it was just so perfectly done. And I like how they didn't say like it was flashing or anything. It was just like, hey, it was glowing and I punched it. And then its neck exploded. Or it didn't explode. It dropped like a sack of hammers. And basically he broke the sack holding that lava, and it started to rapidly cool. And it was absolutely awesome until he notices his left hand was broken. And it throbbed in pain. And then they explain what the healing is like in this. And I really enjoy this explanation of healing. What did you guys think? Nothing?
Yeah, I thought it was great too.
Yeah, and like the fact that he could zoom in on the injured portion, I feel like I've seen this in like a movie or an anime or something, where like, I don't remember exactly where, but I feel like I've seen it before, where they were able to find out what the injured portion was and focus on healing that portion. And I'm not saying like, shame on them, they stole it. I like it. I think it was perfect for this. But
Right, yeah. I feel like that's kind of something that you see here and there.
yeah, but I loved it. I thought that fight was wonderfully done. I enjoyed how it set up several mechanics for us. And it didn't feel like, oh, I'm just showing you the mechanics right now. Like, it's like good story that shares the mechanics, right? But apparently Donut didn't agree with me, because her first thought was that was no good. And I love the fact that she is thinking so far ahead of I want to be famous. Like that's her whole goal. She wants to be famous. Where I mean that ends up I think that that's a Oh, go ahead, Monkey. You
I
muted.
was going to say that um, she was famous from all the shows that she did
Oh
with
yeah, she
the.
was famous. So I guess that does make sense. But like I like the fact that her talking about this, like it very quickly gets reminded, like she throws it in there as a throwaway, but it's the most important thing because like Carl gets pissed off and he's like, we're not going on any shows. And she's like, no, we have to. And she starts off talking about like millions of views and millions of followers. And then she also says, and loot boxes. And that's the real important one. And then they start talking about the bathrooms. And I love that absolutely everything is like a dimension, a pocket dimension. Like everything in this dungeon. And so they find out that the toilets, well, not the toilets, but like the bathrooms are the same no matter which door you open per the crawler. So Donut obviously goes in because she's got to take a wee. And comes back out as a cat does, trailing a little litter all over the place. And then he realizes how long it's been that they've been in the dungeon. And it's only been 5 hours at this point. When he's like, I really need to sleep. Last night was so rough. And then he's like, oh my God, that was 5 hours ago. And I don't blame him. I'd be freaking out too. Like, really? 5 hours ago?
All that adrenaline, all that chaos didn't allow him to understand what was going on.
Oh, exactly. Like, it was just one of those scenes where it went so fast. And then they fight all these rats and the bread-shaped roaches. And I'm not saying bread-shaped as a throwaway. They specifically mentioned that they were shaped like loaves of bread and about the same size. And Donut was not being helpful, which happens all the time. And she talked about her mentorship. Now, I feel like I skipped something super duper important. Let's see. Why can't I find any of this stuff?
Because you listened instead of read.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm having the same issue. I'm kind of like, you know what? I remember this stuff, but this was two books ago.
Oh, that's the part that I skipped. When Mordecai mentioned that like he should stick with her for right now, but you don't need to when you get down to the 9th floor because it's not your crown. And then when they leave, they're walking and lizard. What's up, Lady Jane? You better believe I'm a nerd. But where is it? Where is it?
What are you looking for?
When he says it's time for us to leave or to split up.
When she was when
Isn't that
when Mordecai had
end of
suggested
chapter?
that they split and then they leave
Yeah.
the safe
Yeah.
area.
That's
Yeah.
the beginning of
Chapter
chapter 8.
6.
Here we go. Look, guys,
Oh.
it's 8. And he says, look, I said, Mordecai said you're a lot more powerful than I am. Great. That means you'll probably be okay. More okay than me. I lean in. But I would rather just get this over with and get squished by a goblin bulldozer than spend another second dealing with this bullshit. Cats are assholes. I get it. But do you know why people like cats despite their assholeness? It's because they don't fucking talk. If they did, and they were all like you, they'd all be extinct because we would have killed you all by now. Like, he went after her. Holy shit. But to be fair, she was yelling at him for not wearing pants and for his cloak that makes him look like he won a participation trophy at a special needs Comic-Con. By the way, he has a cloak that makes him look like dollar store Batman.
She's like bragging on him, and then he's like, you know what? You made it easy. Go away. And then she just kind of pours her little cat heart out to him and makes him feel sorry for her. So I feel like that's why he kept her. She's just like, I woke up from a terrible dream, and this is what it is.
That, and she reminds him that, like, he was going to catnap her. It wasn't going to work out, but he was going to try. Because she called him out for, like, not being good enough to actually do it. Oh, and don't worry, he found his pack of Marbreds. So he'll still be able to smoke. Good for him. But yeah, I loved that portion where, like, it explained that backstory of the fact that he was going to keep her. He was going to find a way to, you know? Like, I thought that was absolutely wonderful. And they go through, he's fighting all of these huge rats. And Donut is just watching and complaining that she's not getting more experience for her mentorship. And I love that he describes it as the cat was definitely making an effort to be less abrasive, but she was still a cat. And reckless and a quick mouth, often making quips before realizing what she'd said. And that continues a bit through the book. And I really love that they kept that going, you know? And then she pulled the cat move of rubbing against his leg when he, like, leaned against the wall.
I say.
Yeah. I mean, the cat's got to do what the cat's got to do, right? Now, a question would be, how do you feel about the way that the system influences combat? And frankly, I don't think the system does anything manipulative in combat. I think it's very well laid out. Like, what do you guys think?
That is what the system wants. They encourage it at every corner.
Yeah, that is true.
Because that's what the views are about, right? That's what Mordecai said that the views will be based on. How you do, how you kill people. So if you want to be famous, you have to engage in constant combat.
That's something Donut understands really early on. She's like, you've got to kill these things quick. You've got to take these things out. Now, I want to go back to something we talked about earlier, because at the end of this chapter, we can talk a little bit more about how the system is probably the most unhinged character in the entire book series. And that's when he gets the level 3 skill of Smush. And the way that it did this, like, I'm not gonna kink shame at all, but like the AI has a huge thing for feet. And I love the way that he described the voice reading the skill description was deeper, more throaty than usual.
Hilarious.
I could actually hear him breathing. And I'll continue it. If you're too young, you shouldn't listen to this part. I could actually hear him breathing like he was a dude beating himself off while he said it. And it's just like pure like foot oh, what do you call it? But praising foot. It's a foot
The word-
fetish.
The word is fetish.
I know fetish, but like he like praises, honors something the feet is whatever it is. Like this thing loves feet, and it's like killing with your feet, your bare, beautiful feet. Taking your bare foot, placing it on top of a living, conscious life, and then pressing lovingly down until that life ceases to be. Is there a more noble way to kill? Like,
It's mixing combat and that sort of fetish feel both into the same sentence at once.
it was beautifully done.
Oh, when he did that in the audiobook, I almost died. I almost ran off the road. It was so funny.
I think this was the point in the book that I had to turn it off because my kids were in the car. And I was like, oh, shoot. And I couldn't turn it off fast enough. Don't judge me.
Isn't that always the case? Like when you're in a situation where you have to turn something off or down, you just can't get it down fast.
You can't find the button. You're like, where the fuck is this
That's
thing?
why just turn down the volume at that point.
All right. Now
I love the AI.
Now at this point they get to a safe room and they're able to get in there. It's like an off-brand McDonald's from an Eastern European country. And they're relaxing for a minute. They're like, holy crap, we're making it. There's 23 hours, 42 minutes until the premiere of Dungeon Crawler World Earth. And there's only 4.3 million crawlers left, which there were, what, over 10 million when
Yes,
they got
10
into
million.
the dungeon?
Yeah.
And he sees the leaderboard and then information about the safe room with the rental rooms available. And then there's talk about the personal space. And if I remember right, I think these do come up level 4. If I remember correctly. And at this point, he's wondering if this is like a home base and if they can like keep that area. But they're not available yet, so that's important to remember. And then all of a sudden, he looks at his map and he sees this white dot, and he finds Tally, the level 63 Babka protector, who is the caretaker of the safe room. And super wonderful, but he starts giving away a few hints. Because when Carl mentions, like, what do you have? I'm new here. And Tally's like, Tally knows you're new here. Dungeon just opened up without warning. So I'm not ready. Like, something happened to make this all happen faster. And I can say right now, we find out later, but I'm not going to give it away. But I think it was wonderful the way that he gets introduced. And then once again, like thinking straight to Donut when the guy's like, oh yeah, I can get some milk for your cat. And he's like, no, Donut prefers yogurt. I'm not supposed to give her too much. B gets. And everything comes back to B. Such a terrible, terrible person.
He misses her.
He does, but like,
He loved her. He didn't love him.
I know, but it's so heartbreaking.
Yep.
I hate how much you can tell that he misses and cares for her because of how she was. And don't worry, everybody. In future weeks, we'll find out more about how shitty B was. But he decides to
She a bitch.
Be a bitch. That's right. When he asks for food and the guy was asked for like, what spice tolerance do you have? 1 to 5? Like, there are moments of brilliance from Carl because the first thing he thinks is like, is this on a human scale? And it's probably one of the smartest things we've seen from Carl so far. Is he wasn't just like, yeah, like spicy, give me a 4. He was like, is this a human scale or a alien scale? Because that can make a huge difference. It's kind of like what I do when I go to Indian restaurants. Nobody else?
Yeah. Now, to be fair, that's how I would be too. I'd be like, what scale are we basing the heat of the food on?
Exactly. I love the fact that he thought about that, but like, I guess it makes sense because, like you said, we do the same thing. When I go to an Indian restaurant, I'm like, they're like, how spicy would you like it? And I'm like, I'd like a white boy 7 because there's no way I could handle like a true Indian 7. Same thing with Thai restaurants. I always just say like, give me a white boy 7 and I'll be happy.
Yeah, I'm Indian, so I can't talk in this matter.
You're like, oh, you and your white boy spice level.
No, I understand because a lot of the restaurants here, we go by medium spicy, extra spicy, or something like that.
Yeah.
So medium spicy is usually what we get because that's stuff that people can generally tolerate if they can handle a little bit of spice. Otherwise, they would just get no spice.
And then,
so I understand where it comes from.
Yeah. And then we've got Donut deciding to put on another item that she didn't finish reading again or didn't fully think about. And that's her talisman of the slate butterfly. Now, the thing that I'm wondering is that makes it so that winged fairies are no longer automatically hostile, but Carl's tattoo makes him an enemy of fairy folk. So it'll be interesting to see how those two work together and how it will handle that, you know? But the charm has a bell on it. So now as she moves, there's going to be a bell dinging. And then when he eats the food, he mentions that it's the best thing he's ever eaten. And like it totally changes his world, which is completely normal for that type of situation, right? I remember when I got back from deployment, I went and got some fettuccine alfredo with like sliced Italian sausage and spinach on it. And like I teared up eating it. It was the most beautiful thing I had ever eaten. When you like go through stuff, that next real food just hits different. I don't know if everybody here has had an experience where like had like a major life event and that next meal was just like so crazy.
Yeah, can't say that I have.
Yeah, well, it was amazing. So they end up moving along and they're killing all these like cockroaches, the scatterers, and they run into the scatterer brood guardian, which is cockroaches that have been baptized in range and monster energy drinks. I love that description. It's like half the gym.
Nasty.
And the first thing he thinks is like, I'm gonna have to use my weapons. Like, this is the first moment that I think Carl went like non-gamer, true normal human in the book, where he was just like, I know that this is supposed to be weaker than my fist, but it's a weapon, and I should use a weapon if I'm going to try and take this thing out. Like, it is the most human moment. Because, I mean, min-maxing, you're like, yeah, I've been min-maxing my fists, so I'm just going to keep using those. But, like, he tries to use the weapon, and the cockroach is basically like, fuck your weapon, and knocks it out of his hand. They go through, they kill all this stuff. What they're looking for is a nest of these cockroaches. The way that this chapter ends, which is the last chapter that we read for the week, is the explanation of goblin dynamite. This stuff is especially volatile. It's so volatile, you probably don't even need to light the wick to set it off. It's so volatile, even a loud noise might set it off. Keep it in your inventory until you're ready to lose it. But be gentle and don't squeeze too hard or else you might get the... And it waited a few seconds and yelled, boom, just to mess with them. And he ended up having to pull out his Zippo and light the wick. And this will be important later. But he did it, threw it as hard as he could, and ran, praying that it wouldn't blow when it hit the ground. And that's where our reading ends. But a couple more things to talk about. So, in these chapters, what new rules and mechanics did you guys notice? Like, what stuck out to you?
Well, I think like with like where you were just talking about with the cockroach, like the weapons not being useful, basically like to where he was like forced, he's realizing he's being forced to use his hands and everything.
Yeah, it definitely felt like he was getting railroaded into it, you know? Like, it was one of those scenes where they're just like, no, I really want you to be a monk, basically. So, like, every weapon you have access to that you're going to get access to is going to be a piece of crap. Which is definitely a DM thing to do, right? And I really like the mechanics of being able to, like, the start of understanding the mechanics of the dynamite and especially the goblin dynamite, and hearing that and seeing how that's going to work, because it starts giving you ideas for later. And it gives you a little more of an understanding of what they're going to do, right? Are there any other rules or mechanics you guys noticed that you enjoyed? Or any that pissed you off?
Off the top of my head that I can think of.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's just like we're just getting used to stuff.
Yeah.
Well, the biggest thing was like they can Tally can cook up pretty much anything.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like, and that's something that I didn't bring up is he was like, hey, are you going to be on every floor? Which I don't blame him. I would be the same freaking way. I'd be like, holy shit, this is good. Are you going to be everywhere? And he mentioned that he will be here until this floor collapses. When this floor collapses, I will move to a random floor in the dungeon. When that floor collapses, I will move down until I am no longer needed. He didn't elaborate further. So, being smart for a moment, Carl's like, hey, we're going to stay around here for the next couple days because I'll tell you what, if I found a place that makes the best food ever, I'm not going to leave it right away. That's for sure.
Right, I wouldn't either.
Oh, yeah. I felt like there were a few clever rules and mechanics, like the fact that you can, if it's out in the open, you can tell the information about an item, but the second they put it into their inventory, you can't until they put it on. I think that that's absolutely wonderful. The fact that you can't tell like status and information about somebody else's gear or gear that's not like viewable or in your possession. And that comes up later on too. I just think this was like a really good way to start things off. That's actually my favorite thing about like going back through and listening is I'm hearing cues on things that we see later. Like, have you guys noticed that as well? Bueller? Anyone?
Sorry, can you repeat that again? Sorry, last part. What was that?
So, like, I think that it's like rereading the book for this and going like kind of pouring through it. I have found it to be really enlightening about like little hints on things that come up later. We're like, oh, holy shit. Like they set that rule in like chapter 7. And now I'm seeing it in chapter 15, right? I think they do that a lot. He did a really good job with the writing in that way. Like, did you feel the same?
Yes, I did because it comes back. A lot of the things that they talk about right now comes back. So it's like they did a very good job of setting it all up.
Definitely. Exactly. And then the system's behavior, what does it suggest about its motives? I think that Donut had a really good point when she's like, you know what? I don't want you to get pants anymore. after the smush skill.
I think she just doesn't want to do up close battle. That she wants to do everything from afar and let Carl do all of the tanking. She doesn't realize that's what it's called, but you know.
Yeah. But like,
sorry,
also,
speaking of asshole cats, mine was just running around the house with a plastic bag looped around his head. I couldn't catch the fucker, so that's where I've been. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
But like, why is the bag sticky? What are you doing? What the hell is going on? Sorry.
I think one of the biggest things is that she's like, you're never gonna wear shoes basically because sounds like the computer fancies your feet. And I'm like, that is so much behind the motives, I think, that like, I think I think she's correct in the fact that the system's going to take it a little easier on them as long as he uses his feet. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, that's definitely what they're setting up for at this point, is that as long as he does what's already been established, then it'll go smoothly from here on out.
Oh yeah. Okay. Now, without spoilers, like reading, just thinking about these chapters and what you've read, I want to hear each person's theory about the creators and watchers. Like, just from what you've read in these 10 chapters. Like, my theory when I read this the first time was that it was going to be like another like earlier race of humans or something. And that they were going to use all this symbology to make it seem like aliens. But just...
Yeah, that's what I thought was that same thing as you.
Make a reality TV show out of it type of thing. Like,
yep,
I've actually
exactly.
got a new theory that maybe Carl smoked a laced cigarette at 2 a.m. and everything started to be a hallucination the second that the lazy cat that is Donut jumped out the window.
All right.
So,
but you're asking specifically how we feel that the dungeon AI or the creators?
No, the creators.
So, I mean, without really knowing much behind the creator, all we've got as far as interaction is the AI. And the AI is kind of all about, the sass, the crass, the,
Yeah.
you're fucking it all up and we're loving it kind of thing. So, I mean, it's really hard as far as the creators go. You can't really dig too far into that because we don't know much about them.
That is completely fair.
Yeah, within the first 10 chapters, it doesn't really go into like who the creators and who the people watching the show are at this point. It hasn't really like dug into that really at all.
Yeah, I think your question is a little bit early. That's all.
Yeah, I think this is more of like a teaser to be like, hey, let's bring this up again and again type of thing. Now, if you were to be in the dungeon, what would be your starting weapon? Or what would you hope for your starter weapon?
Oh, that's an interesting choice.
A
Because
pitchfork. I want a pitchfork or a trident.
Pitchfork.
But it's going to be an enchanted pitchfork. It's not just going to be any old plain pitchfork.
So does your pitchfork, does a stab with the pitchfork count as 3 piercing attacks?
I think so. I mean, Donut's got 2 eyes and she gets 2 missiles, so why not?
Oh, yeah. Hey, that's fair. That's fair. So pitchfork, where each point counts as its own attack, which is pretty freaking brilliant. That would be awesome. Rockguy, what would
some
you
sort
want?
of melee weapon.
A melee weapon? Go for it, Monkey.
Like a sword or something like that.
A sword or something? I like it. I was
thinking maybe like one of those, those spiky chain-bound like balls.
Oh yeah,
having
the
something
Morning
like
Star.
That. Yeah, but like each spike has like extra damage or something.
Or you could change out the spikes for different types of damage.
Yeah,
magical
something
spikes,
like that, like poison. Yeah, exactly, like poison darts or something like that.
Oh, that would be really cool.
Come on, you got to be more inventive than that. I mean, like any old knight can have a sword, but you're just some earth guy that's walking into a made up dungeon and everything. What's the nearest damn thing to you in order to go into a dungeon, into the unknown? What are you grabbing?
Wait, are you saying that you have a pitchfork near you?
I mean, you know what? Honestly, I've got 3 battle axes, 2 swords, and a whole bunch of knives in this room right now. So that's not unheard of. But I would love
And
a
people
pitchfork.
called me a nerd. Holy shit.
I mean, I got a fire poker next to me.
Hey, there you
what?
go.
A fire poker? That would be even better. Yes, fire poker.
For me,
And then
I
you
think a
have
But that's what
bass
Carl
guitar.
has.
I think one of my bass guitars, and each hit also adds sonic damage.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, like I'm looking around the room and I'm like, I don't know if you guys would believe me if I told you some of the crap that's in here. Like the only helmet I see right now is a Darth Revan helmet and a Master Chief helmet. So I would have to take one of those into the dungeon.
Hey,
Oh, and a pair of Mickey Mouse
brilliant. Mickey Mouse ears, yes.
ears. But I've got all of those other things that I just rattled off. A bunch of Jedi hilts and Sith hilts. I
For
mean, I've
sure,
got
for sure.
yeah. I mean, but you wouldn't be in this room. I mean, I've got to actually I have a rake out in the yard.
Oh, that's kind of like a pitchfork. I like it.
Kind of like a pitchfork.
I'll let it go. I'll let it be.
No, I'm just
Rockguy.
saying I would be way more creative because Carl's in there running around in a leather jacket and his underwear. So, I'm just kind of like trying to be more
To
in.
be fair, I feel like I would still want to enter the dungeon in my underwear. Because, like, who's going to fuck with a guy chasing them down in his underwear?
I think there's a YouTuber out there that kind of does that. So, yeah.
Like, that's... You ever get into a fight? Like, just pull your pants down. I forgot.
I think.
Yeah, you get into a fight, you pull your pants down, nobody's going to come at you. So, like, cut out the middleman. I'm going down there in boxers. I'll go for it. Rockguy, what weapon would you bring?
I don't know. I mean, I've got a few swords and stuff too at home, so hopefully I would grab one of those and go in.
Heck yeah. Just going for the classic sword. I like it.
I mean, if we're taking stuff that we've got at home, I mean that's the best thing I've got.
Oh yeah, I like it.
But if not, then I would hope I could get something like ranged or something.
So I want to hear on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate the action in these 5 chapters?
A 3.
A 6.
I was thinking like 4.5 or 5.
Yeah, I mean it's nothing crazy until, of course, like
Yeah,
the
it's really
next
not.
chapters.
Yeah.
I mean,
This is just like an introductory
This is the
fight, a couple
setup.
of things here and
It's
there.
a setup. Rockguy, what did you think?
Exactly.
Yeah, I was gonna say like a 5. Like it's just average because I mean it's just easy. The rats and the like. You mean you just steps on them, punch them, whatever. So it's just simple stuff at first.
Yeah.
still getting in the bearing.
Step on it.
Now, how would we rate the humor? Because I think we're about a
Pretty good.
5 on action.
I like the humor. Humor is very good. I like
Oh
it.
yeah.
I
No
give
doubt.
the humor like a 9 in the first
Yeah.
10 chapters.
Girl, same.
Yep.
All right, that's
I don't know,
3 for
I mean,
9.
Yep. Same.
9. Yeah, that's a 9.
We
I
actually
don't
all
want to
agreed
spoil
on
it, but
9 it
yeah.
is. But like
I don't want to spoil anything, but like after there's a change in humor that we notice.
Oh yeah, like the humor continues and it
Mhm.
develops. Now, what about the what the fuck factor?
Oh, there's lots of that.
That's a
Like-
10. That's a 10.
Yeah, that's a 10.
I don't know how many times I said that in this first book alone.
See, the first 10 chapters, I think I would give it like a 7. I think it really raises up the what the fuck factor later. But like these first 10 chapters, like outside of like the lady talking and then the building just squishing, like I didn't get quite like a 10 what the fuck.
Dude, her head rolled off. What more do you need?
Wait, whose
The
head
next
rolled up?
few, like the next 10 chapters. That's what I need.
Can we do
There
that
was
today? Let's do it
There's
today.
a lot of the WTF.
Yeah, so I'm the lone 7. Everybody else going for a 10. I like it. We don't always have to
Give
agree.
anything a 10.
That's
I mean,
okay.
9. I'll give it a 9.
You better give instructors 10s on their feedback.
No way, man. Nobody
Ugh.
deserved a 10 yet.
What are you, European?
Jesus.
So, how about the lore out of 10?
Oh.
Lore? What are you talking about? Like how it pulls from video games?
No, like the
Dungeons and
lore it
Dragons?
creates. The lore of the book that it's creating. Like I've got to give it like an 8.
Yeah, that's a solid up there too.
Yeah, I like 8.
Rockguy?
Yeah, that seems about right. Because I mean, since it's very early on. I mean, you're just kind of getting to know everything and how everything works. So yeah, that's about right.
Now, what about the PDE? Princess Donut Energy.
I honestly, I didn't really like her until like midway second book. So I mean,
Like
yeah,
I
didn't
liked
like
her.
Huh?
I liked her, but like she's less funny, more annoying at this point still.
Right, and I think character development. I think they did that on purpose.
Yeah, where she's just like a loose cannon right now.
Like,
But-
bitch, you're pissing me off.
But I love the donut energy, and from the start I loved it. Like she's such a pompous little like Queen Anne chunk. I give it a 6.
Well,
'Cause it
she's
definitely
half
gets
the
better.
story. She's half the story because if you think about it, if her ass wasn't in there, it'd just be this dude in his underwear running around in this thing, like some of the other characters that will be later mentioned. But take
Yeah.
Donut out of the
Yeah.
picture, you're just following this one dude around. So and she kind of brings an extra oomph to it to keep you involved.
Mhm.
Because Carl alone, no, not
He'd
so
be
much.
kind of
There's
boring.
not so much there. She kind of keeps it interesting and keeps people reading.
She
Yeah,
is a main character.
She definitely is. And I think the donut energy gets so much better as it goes on. There are some quotes that I am really excited for because they are some of my favorite things. And I actually will probably make some merch to go with that because I found out that you can actually get permission from Matt.
Oh my god, I have ideas.
We'll go for it.
We'll talk
So we will. I guess you can go through Ace and Matt Dinniman and get permission and a no fee licensing to share the wonders of Dungeon Crawler Carl.
That'll be very good.
But only for small like personal shops, not for like big box stores and stuff. So if you see it in like a big box, like that better be branded properly. And they don't allow the use of AI. That is one of the stipulations, which I love.
Yeah, that's a good rule.
So for everybody watching, thank you. Next week, we are going to talk about chapters 11 through 15. So make sure you guys are catching up as well. Be part of the conversation. You can always throw in your 2 cents, even if you're not on this chat. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm loving reading through this, and I love having conversations with you guys about this. This is a lot of fun for me.
Indeed it is. Indeed it is.
Indeed. So we are going to raid out tonight to Orby Ladra. Because you can't go wrong with Orby. So I hope everybody enjoys it. Have a great night, everybody. And thank you for being part of Junior's Book Club. I appreciate it, and we'll see you all on Wednesday.
Good night.
Good
night.
night.
No,
Good night,
thanks for coming out though.